Okay, let's get to it, bro. I know you're a busy man. Let's
Oh,
get to
hey man, I appreciate that, but yeah, you busy doing this.
it. For sure, for sure. So let the people know what we have in the building.
Oh yeah, it's big chest, the biggest. Look around, you see a bigger one. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'll be making my way, making things happen for everybody. I'm the make it happen cap. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about action. So if you're trying to get active, get at me. Yeah.
So what is your jurisdiction and what was it like growing up as a kid?
What is my jurisdiction?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna try to catch what you mean by that. My jurisdiction, what I do, what I'm in charge of is I would say like I'm in the digital space of making it happen with women. You know what I'm saying? Before I was in more of a physical space, but now we in a digital space, and that space is really it's helped a nigga pull through and go a bit farther than his peers. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
yeah, I mostly fuck with the OnlyFans shit. Uh, I fuck with like Bandsy and shit like that too. I got a very like not intricate system, but I got a very specific way I do things. I got strategies and moves and ways, and I be showing other niggas how to do those things too. I got my digital pivot coaching course. I be showing niggas how to do this shit. Made niggas make hundreds of thousands and shit. I myself have made over 1 million doing OnlyFans shit. It's documented. I got my main. She's on Business Insider getting interviewed and shit about making her So, we just out here just trying to make shit happen, just trying to elevate, escalate, and really trying to do it. I feel like that's what we all trying to do. You know.
For sure. So you say you're from Northern California. What was your life like growing up in Northern California?
So so when I was little, it was like the apartments that I stayed at. It was Park Club Apartments. I think they call it Autumnwood now. It's off 1111 Alaska Avenue. It was up the street from the Solano Mall, and it was like nothing but like little niggas and Mexicans and shit. So that's all that I was around. My mama was white though, so she was like the only white person I knew. And then there was this kid Garrett. I used to hell like Power Rangers and shit, but this little nigga Garrett is a white kid. He had the white Power Ranger, the white fucking what is it, saber tooth tiger? Man, that was dope. So I always go over to his house. He had the Super Nintendo and shit. I ain't had none of that shit. So we be going over there. I mean, I had Power Ranger toys, but that nigga had the dopest ones. So basically, it was just a bunch of like little niggas and little Mexican kids and shit. And then my sister, she was 7 years older than me. And then so then like she would kick it with like the older kids and shit like that. And then what they would do when I was like 3, 4, whatever the fuck, they would have all the little kids that was like our age go and like throw hands at each other. You know what I'm saying? We just be like, I just remember like getting in hella like little scuffles when I was hella little, just punching kids in the face and shit. And me getting hit. We was just hitting each other. Hella like they would like sick us on each other. It was hella weird and shit. But fucking yeah, that was cool. And then my parents ended up like divorcing and shit. So then I moved to Washington, and then I moved back down to California, uh, in Fairfield, and then I moved back up to Washington a little bit after that. So like it was interesting. I liked it a lot. I loved there's a lot of culture and shit. My parents took me to go do shit a lot. Got to run to a lot of shit. And I did like martial arts a little bit while I was there too. I did this shit called what's it called? Kaji Kimbo or some shit, some Hawaiian shit. Cause it's crazy over there. They got all the different nationalities and ethnicities and everything up there. So it's all like a big melting pot. Except everybody's a nigga pretty much. You know? So I'd say shit was cool. My mama said like shit was starting to get ghetto though. Niggas was getting like stabbed and shot and shit in front of our apartments and shit. So it was like I was starting to get ghetto there anyways, and then ended up moving up to Washington and shit. So uh growing up there is interesting too, because there ain't shit to do but like do drugs and like fuck bitches and shit. So that's like all there is up in Washington. So growing up there for a while too is pretty crazy and weird, you know, very weird, But then I came back down to Sacramento when I was a teenager. Well, I was in Stockton, so I would go back and forth to Stockton a lot during the summers because my dad stayed in Stockton for a while, and then when I moved out, I was in Stockton for like 4 or 5 months or some shit like that. Was living there for like a second, and then I moved to fucking Sac for like a year, and I was going to high school there. But I went to school in Citrus Heights. Like my mama stayed in North Highlands, but then my pop stayed in Citrus Heights. So then I went to the school up there, and I went to San Juan High, and then was like fighting Mexican kids and shit, like fighting Norteños and shit like that. And then I ended up cool with these fucking Norteño niggas anyway, but they ended up not being cool with some of them, wompty wompty. But yeah, so I was kicking with a bunch of fucking Norteños and shit in Sac for a little bit, and there's like the story I like fought like 2 of them in the same day and shit. It was just being like a new kid at schools and shit. You always gotta prove yourself or some stupid shit. Yeah. So yeah, that's what growing up was like.
So is it safe to say that you so game tight because you got game from a lot of different areas?
I would say, and I appreciate the notion that I'm game tight. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I would say so myself because I was born in Vallejo. I lived in Fairfield and shit. Everything is pretty game related. Up in Washington, all there is really like pimping and selling drugs and shit. That's really all, or get a tech job or something. I don't know, work at a fucking warehouse or some shit. I don't fucking know. But all there was to do as far as street shit was just like kind of trapping. You can't really make like a living trapping up there unless you like fuck with like the bikers or some shit like that, or like fuck with like the Mexicans selling heroin, selling fucking black tar and shit like that. That's the only way you're gonna make it, like doing that. So if you're doing street shit, it's really just macking. That's all it is. So like, yeah, up there it was all macking. Down there it's all macking. Everywhere I grew up, everywhere I did anything, it's always macking. So like, it's to the point my mama told me pimps was lazy, so it tried to make me not, go into that kind of shit. Like my daddy wasn't no pimp, but he was definitely a Mac, and he definitely showed me some shit. You know what I'm saying? He showed me some shit. There's a period of time this nigga was he'd just be like texting bitches and shit while I was with him, and then like his phone would go off, and then he would be like, "Oh, is that such and such? Did she say such and such? Oh, she say such and such? Okay." Like he knew exactly what she was finna say, and then it was like, "Okay, say this and type this. After you type that, she's gonna say this, and then you're gonna say this." And I'm just like, huh? And I'm like, how do you even know this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you even know? And he's just like, after you've done it for a while, you start to realize that a lot of these girls the same. They got different types and shit, but then you could kind of just predict it. So he taught me some ways, some ways to make it happen, even on the low end, like me on my darkest day is gonna be, I'm gonna make something happen, So like I would say that my pops, being around it, and yeah, just always been kind of a flavorful guy, always been kind of intrigued with flavors and such, just well, I've always kind of had like a kind of a rich vocabulary, you know what I'm saying, quite expansive. I like to master the art of communication, so that way I can make it happen the way it's supposed to, make the world my world. So yeah, I would say it's my West Coast upbringing, up and down the West Coast. Like I've been other places like that, but this is where I be. When I first got in the game, I went up and down the West Coast trying to find the best city and cities to move around in. Especially the mashing in my way. Which was mostly like strip clubs and some dates and shit. But was out here just trying to find the best cities, and that's how I ended up in Arizona for a while. So Arizona, I was out there for a minute, for like 4 or 5 years, some shit like that. I was out there for a hot minute. So I wouldn't say that it necessarily like rubbed off on me. I would say more so, not trying to toot my own horn, but I rubbed off on it. Like I pulled up on Arizona and just kind of like I made it happen. I made a lot of money in Arizona. You know, it was just me doing my thing out there. It wasn't really me coming up. I was up, and I was like, okay, let's. I'd say I developed and honed my craft a little bit in Arizona, though.
Okay, respect. Can you let the people know what it was like before you got a whiff of the ism? Like, did you work a 9 to 5, or you know what I'm saying? Was you going to school? Like,
Yeah.
what type?
So like, I did. It's kind of like a long story kind of thing, but like, I did cage fighting for a minute, and then I got an injury. I got my eye socket fractured. And some nigga ground and pounded me, and it was like late stoppage and fucked my eye socket up. While I was recovering, I started rapping and shit. But I was already like rapping and shit. But then I started like trying to take it seriously and shit. And then I was like linking up with rappers and shit like that. But then I had like falling outs with them and shit like that. And then I ended up going to school. I went to school for a minute because I was trapping and shit. The whole time I was trapping since I was like 15. So then I was just always, always got something, That's how people knew me a lot. They just knew that I was a nigga that always had shit or just could get shit or whatever the fuck. So I was doing that. I feel like that's part of what would be tapping you in at first when you like a rookie P, is that like you the nigga with the shit. So then bitches start seeing you like, oh, that's the D-boy. He's the nigga that got like the shit. He got the drugs, he got the money, he got like shit. So then I'm gonna fuck with him. So then you gotta like, turn that into, like, okay, well, I could be doing this shit. So if I'm fucking with you, then I'm gonna need, I'm gonna need that. You wanna fuck with the nigga, nigga gonna need that. So it was more so like that. I went to school for a minute. It's actually where I met my first bitch. But I met her there, but I didn't do it from out of school. But I went to school because I wanted the financial aid money, so I could flip it. I just wanted to I just needed that little 1,600 check. I was like, I'll just flip that shit. So I was just, that's the whole reason I did that. And then I took some good classes. I got some grades good grades for like a second. And then I got distracted and started just doing shit. But then, so during that time, I never worked a job. I never had a job like in my life, except for after I did my school. I worked at a dispensary for like 4 months, like 3-4 months or so, and then I was trapping out that bitch too because I was like the manager, because I was the only nigga that was working there, but it was like in the hood kind of, so it was like, I don't know, it was kind of ratchet. It was under the table as fuck, but yeah, I would work like 12-hour shifts, and I'd just be like trapping out that bitch, and I'd be over there when I wasn't even working, just cause my niggas worked there. It was only me and 2 of my niggas that worked there, and we just alternated days and shit. So we were just pretty much we all worked there all the time, but only one of us was getting paid. But then we just like trap out the bitch or smoke the weed there. Like it was just whatever. That was just our spot, It wasn't owned by us. There's a whole boss, but we didn't give a fuck about him. Like we was like, whatever, nigga. We making you money, nigga. Shut up, nigga. So I was doing that, and then while like I was about to try to do that while I started, like, I woke up one day and everything was different. I just like woke up and I was like, I should be getting more for what I do, and the way things are going, they're not finna go the way I want them to go. I just did some self-analysis. I woke up one Monday morning and I was just like, I had a girlfriend for like 4 years at that point. I broke up with her and I was just like, nah, like I just gotta do me. I gotta figure this out. So I broke up with her, and then I like started talking to a bunch of bitches and shit, and then I ended up knocking this bitch because my homie was he was like dating this stripper, I guess you could say. Like, I don't know, he's just whatever fucking with this stripper bitch, and she'd cash him out and shit. And he's like, yeah, you could be doing that shit, wumpty wumpty. And I was like, yeah. And way before this, I had a boy that I had a hella niggas that did shit like that, obviously, but there's one nigga who was trying to do it, and I was like, look, if y'all finna do it, then y'all should, because he was trying to stay at my crib and do it, and I was like, nigga, if y'all finna do this shit under my crib, y'all just finna do this shit under my instructions. What the fuck? So I was like, yeah, we can do shit like this, and then he tried to like not do it like that, and then try to go off on his own. and he had the bitches, and then he ended up getting booked that weekend because the feds was they basically one of the bitches was under investigation, and then he did like a janky out call. Yeah, they pulled up on him, straps. Get out the car. Won't you? I had to pick this nigga up from jail. I was like, see, nigga, the fuck? And I was like, man, I know I could do this shit. I'm not even trying to do this shit. I'm a trap nigga, but nigga, if I did this shit, I'd do this shit for real. So then, eventually, when I was like, fuck it, I'm finna do this shit for real. And then, yeah, man, I just woke up one day. It was different, and it just felt right. It just felt right. I was like, one of my OGP partners from way back in the day, he basically told me way before I woke up different. He was like, because I asked him how he got into it, and he was just like, yeah, one day I just like, I don't know, I woke up and I just turned my pee on, like it was just different. And then you talk to a lot of other P's, sometimes I feel like I've heard that same kind of story. You know, they be doing things, and then either they say like, oh, I've always been like this, or they'll be like, you know, like, I don't think you came out 8 years old pimping, but like, hey, you know, to each their own, you know. I mean, when I was 14, I had bitches trying to like say that they would spin a hoe for me and shit like that, and I was like haha, like, oh, okay, you know, like I didn't take it seriously, you know, and nor should I have, because I was fucking 14. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? But and then when I was older, bitches was always trying to like wrap me up in that shit. Just, I don't know, maybe they like the flavors too. I don't know. So they was just like, you seem like you would, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just didn't, you know. I didn't see the value. I didn't want to like scam them, or just like I wasn't trying to just like take their money. But then once I realized how to do this shit, I was like, you know what? It's not even taking your money at this point. I'm showing you how to make more money. I'm gonna earn my keep. I'm gonna make us make more money than either of us would have made on our own. So like, boom, like let's make that happen. So then that's essentially what happened. I was about to like try to do that shit while I was working the job, and then they fired my homies. So then I ended up just quitting, and then just like I was like, fuck it, all right, we pimping. So then I just started doing that, and then yeah, I just never turned back. You know, never turned back.
So, who are some of the old school players that you looked up to in the game?
Old school, but I can't even necessarily say I looked up to old school players like that. More so like the idea, but like, I mean, so one of the niggas that got me into it, I would say I looked up to him when I was younger and shit like that. This nigga TKO Capone. He was used to rap with Riff Raff and shit like that. I don't know if you know who that is. He's from Oklahoma City. He's like World Star Days and shit.
Yeah, TKO Capone. He's staying in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know Capone.
You know Capone?
For sure.
That's crazy. Yeah, I knew this nigga when I was like 19. That was like over 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I linked up with this nigga in LA, and he showed me shit. He was the first nigga to show me some shit like that, and I was like, oh, okay. And then he had a bitch named Jessica, and his partner Imperial had a bitch named Jessica, and then my girlfriend, her name was Jessica, but I wasn't knocking her or nothing like that. That was just my girlfriend or whatever. But she was up there. This is way back. I think it was when I was like 21 or something. And they was like, I got Jessica, you got Jessica. You need to be knocking Jessica. What the fuck? Like, it was just like, do that. And I'm like, nah, I ain't finna do that. But then I ended up, I don't even know if I ain't finna say that. I'm not finna say that. But basically, I ended up doing something like that later on. Pretty cold move. It's a pretty cold move I did. Not cold, but some players would be proud. Okay, I'll just tell you. I broke up with the bitch, and then I got with another bitch, and then started doing the thing with her, making it happen. And then I ended up knocking the bitch that I broke up with her for. You know what I'm saying? So like I broke up with the bitch, knocked the bitch, and then knocked her like under the bitch. You know what I'm saying? So that was around the beginning though. Like I feel like a lot of P's when they green at the very beginning, they be doing like some, you know, off the wall shit. You just flexing your muscles. You just trying to see what you can do with it, you know. And I be seeing some impressive things out of some new guys sometimes. So you can't always count them out, you know. like Kelpie, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just jumped in the game. He's humble about it for the most part, you know.
Mhm.
He might, call somebody out on something, or say some shit, be out of line or some shit. I've been out of line and fucking, being green, not knowing, and that's how you find out. That's how you know. And he's out here doing that on a higher scale than I was when I first jumped in it. When I was just in it, I was just like, okay, I'm doing what I'm doing, and was just knocking bitches wompty wompty, being that nigga and shit. You get like a whole bunch of bitches and shit. Like, I'm deep in the game now. Like, I've been in it for a hot ass minute, to the point like I'm not trying to be like super deep with hella hoes and shit like that. There's something that you kind of learn later on. Um, I mean, you want to have like your options and shit, but you scale up then across. At the beginning, they try to scale across first. You know what I'm saying? You try to get more heads, so that way, but you don't scale up with none of them. So like you kind of got to scale up with one and then scale across. So where was I going though? Oh yeah, when I was green, yeah, I was doing all kinds of fucking wicked shit. Was yeah, just flexing your muscle, flexing your P muscle, trying to see what you can do. You know, because once your eyes open, you're like, oh, like it's like the wonderful world of knocking. You're like, oh, I can knock this. Like, what can I knock? You know what I'm saying? What can't I knock? You know, like I can knock this, I can knock that. Oh, I just once you figure it out, you're like, oh, I'm finna explode. I'm finna knock everything. Go, yeah, and that's how it was at the beginning. I was just like, yep, you, but you don't know what doesn't work with you yet. So now I know how my program works. I know what type of people I want to work with, and like shit, 90% of bitches, they will not pass like the gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? They will not pass the gauntlet. I'll just throw them through the blender real quick, talk to them, see what the head's at. And I'm like, I don't like where this is going. Most of the time, it's like, nah, yeah, they don't pass the smell test. Hell no, no. It's like something don't smell right. No. You ain't gonna take me there, and I'm definitely not gonna take you there. You know what I'm saying? I had a homie say something very important the other day. He said, I can't steer. What he say? I can't steer a car that's not moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't finna move the way that I need you to move, then I can't steer it. And a lot of bitches be, yeah.
Well, can you explain to the viewers how you felt when you checked your first track?
I remember exactly how I felt. Yeah, man. I was like, so I had like a bottle of wine. I poured into a water bottle so I could drive and drink with that shit. And I was up hella late at night. I was awesome and was like fucking hitting some strip clubs and shit. And earlier that day, there's making moves and shit like that. And then it dawned on me. I was just like, damn, I'm really doing it right now. Like, I'm really, this is, the job title, like, I'm really doing that right now. And I'm just like, I got some money in my pocket right here. This is more money than I've ever, made in this short amount of time. Because I trap shit, but then, like, you got to think about your profit margin and all that shit, how much the shit costs, fucking gas on selling the shit, or won't you want to, you know what I'm saying? All that shit. So then I did the math on it. It's just like, this is the most money that I've ever made. And this is more money than most niggas ever make, like, in a day. This is more money than anybody I know has made in a day. Like, the fuck? Like, this is different. Like, I just felt like, this is different. Okay. And it wasn't like super hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt natural. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I do. Yeah. So, yeah, I was slapping like one of my favorite songs. I was outside the club. It was a night. I was like, damn. Yeah, it just felt different, and it felt like you don't want it to stop. Like, okay, we gotta do this again and again and again, like, and again and again and again. Like, it can't stop. So, And then since then, it just hasn't stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't really stop. You know, and it just gets better and better. You know, and if it doesn't get better, then it's over for the most part. I mean, at least that's what's in my mind. You know, if I don't keep on getting better, it's just gonna be over. You know, don't get too comfortable. So I feel like that's probably like the negative aspect of the game. Like that is like other people, y'all, like not y'all, but just like other people, they work like 9 to 5s. They don't have to do better than they did the day before or anything like that. They're just doing it, and then that's that. You know what I'm saying? They just rely on that paycheck. Like, and if they get fired, okay, they could go find another job, or I don't know. You know, you don't have to excel, but in this shit, you have to excel. You have to. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Has anybody co-signed you since you announced your P to the world?
I mean, yeah. I've had some cosigns and shit. I don't even like. I don't even want a lot of cosigns like that. But like, I done met with some niggas from the congregation. They like how I move. Some of them do. Some of them hate how I move though. You know, some of them they, they hate it. You know, but some of them like it. Minister Seymour, me and him linked up, chopped it up in Atlanta, and yeah, he accepts, but you know, I don't really like to be around people with that are also around people that don't like me. You know what I'm saying?
Respect.
Sometimes
Mhm.
that makes me a little uneasy. But shout out Minister Seymour. I fuck with him. I fuck with him for seeing the vision. He knows I'm a businessman. I do business things. He knows I'm doing my thing. I'm on my up and up. You know, I feel like I practice the right ordeals that people need in the game and shit like that, and I try to inspire people to do better and to be gentlemen of leisure, like they supposed to be, you know. And he recognized that, so I fuck with him. You know, some of the other people don't fuck with me like that though, and I don't expect them to. You know, I really don't expect them to, and I don't require them to either.
Right. Church, it's a young nigga world, man. That's what they mad at. It's a young nigga world, man.
Hey, it
Is
is. It's just gonna get younger. So I mean,
Hmm.
shit. You know, you don't need to be talking down on what's next. You know, because then you're gonna be past. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be previous. You don't want to be previous. You know what I'm saying? They want to be, be previous. You know, way back in Cadillac, you know, that's cool and all. That's cool. You know, like rep you. You know what I'm saying? Just don't talk down on the next. You know, a lot of people be eating their words. You know, when they do shit like that, it won't be me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I find myself doing shit kind of like that. I'll be like, I like my method. Somebody will have a newer method, to what I'm doing. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I'll watch it for a few months or something. Be like, okay, I see what they're going with it. I'll fuck with. I'll. But then after a while of doing that, now I just see shit and I'm just like, okay, like I get it. You have to learn to understand shit when you see shit. You know, you can't just see the shit and then write it off. You gotta, understand what you're seeing. But oh, okay, this is kind of like this when this happens. So if they're applying this new thing, like you gotta think like what's the why are they doing it as opposed to the other reasons. A lot of niggas in the game, they think that young niggas and shit are doing shit because they don't know better. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know what it's like to be in the doing shit the way that you was doing it. So they think, oh, they're gameless or something. Like, oh, they don't know. When a lot of times it's the contrary, because the way technology works and shit like that, or just human advancement, is like everybody doesn't know what that thing is until everybody basically once somebody discovers something, now everybody kind of knows it. So you could come in late and just look over like, okay, what have people done so far? Like I don't have to learn how to make a fire to learn how to make electricity. You know what I'm saying? In past times, let's say whoever made electricity probably had to know how to make fucking fire. You know what I'm saying? In order to get that type of understanding and work. Basically, once you've hit certain things, now we don't have to worry about those things. You know, so like I feel like I've gotten an accelerated course in the game because I didn't have to do the shit that y'all was doing 20 years ago, because I get to see that y'all was doing that shit 20 years ago and be like, oh, okay, this does this. When you guys was figuring it out, y'all figured it out for me. Good looking, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna start the game where you left off, and now I get to start it from that point. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I feel like I've done. Like, okay, the game has gone so far, I don't need to put a bitch on the blade for 20 years and then graduate to this shit. Like, y'all already put the bitch on the blade for 20 years. Now I know why I need to do that, why I don't need to do that. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I could do it this way because now they're doing it. Like, once I found out how niggas was doing shit on OnlyFans shit, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I need to be doing this thing. Like, if it wasn't for those people who's doing the OnlyFans shit before me, I wouldn't be able to do the shit that I'm doing on OnlyFans. So it's that legwork. Like, if anything, be proud of the legwork. Be proud that you was doing the shit before. You know what I'm saying? Before it got to this point, because they're the reason why I'm here today. You know, because if they never pimped like that, you know what I'm saying? Then I would be having to do that shit still. You know?
For sure. And all that's gonna make you do is pass the baton.
Exactly,
You know
and that's what I keep trying to do. I was meeting with my young nigga. My young nigga, he's from Chicago. Fucking Rodeo. This nigga made 100,000 his first month. My first month, I made like 1,000. You know what I'm saying? I had to grind my way up. This nigga, 100,000 first month. You know what I'm saying? Young nigga, 19. Young nigga. Because people was able to do shit before him and figure out the whole platform and shit, now this nigga can jump in the game where they left off. Boom. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at it. I love it. I was on the phone with him today, trying to help him keep it going. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Love that shit. So that's what niggas need to be doing. Niggas need to love it, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And if you got a problem with it, guide it. You know what I'm saying?
Respect. Should you pay Bishop Don Juan for the name or just tell him to charge it to the game?
Man, it's not Bishop Don Juan's name. It's Minister Seymour owns the trademark to Chuuch. So that's why we in cahoots, because that has to do with me and him. That don't got nothing to do with even the rest of the Chuuch. Like, it kind of does because of that, but if that's straight from the horse's mouth. If he says it's fine, then can't nobody really say shit. That's his trademark. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What are some of the obstacles that you have to deal with in the life?
Trying to manage to do everything at once. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here doing 5 things on the same fucking at the same time. You know what I'm saying? There's like one thing about how OnlyFans shit is that not only can the bitch be everywhere at the same time because of OnlyFans, like because it's online and shit, and she doesn't physically have to be there to do shit. You can have multiple pages, and there's other sites like Fansly, ManyVids, you got Pornhub and shit, but then like there's the other social medias and shit. You got your Instagram, Twitter, fucking Reddit, all kinds of shit, TikTok and shit. So you have to manage all of these different things all at the same time. And there's almost an infinite amount of things that you can do on each of these platforms to help what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like if I wanted to dedicate 5 hours to making shit happen on one of those things, I could do that. And I still wouldn't get done with everything I could do on it. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to dedicate 12 hours straight, like maybe, but no. Because then right after that, there's going to be more stuff to do on it. There's just hella bread to get. So I got to do all that on top of just living my life. You know what I'm saying? Doing shit that I'm doing. And I'm doing interviews with a lot of, I got like 5 interviews about to come out. You know what I'm saying? Like I got drinks with Jinx. I got a couple with Don Hefe. I got fucking what's that? I got a Cam Capone one. I got like hella different ones, and then multiples from those ones. I'm about to film 2 more this week, and like I'm doing all that. So like those things, just trying to be in a lot of places at once while maintaining. And yeah, yeah, I'd say that that's probably my biggest struggle. And I'm trying to think of any other struggles. Pretty much just that. Just that. Yeah.
Oh, in what way have you balanced your rap career and being a P at the same time?
Man, terribly. Nah. Yeah, man. I wanted to do it to get bigger at rap, you know what I'm saying? And then as I
Yeah.
get like more into rap, the more like disillusioned I get. A lot of niggas be cap as fuck. A lot of niggas use their persona in order to do other endeavors, and that's what a lot of shit that they be doing. Except for like, I don't know, maybe like 20 niggas or some shit actually be getting like substantial amounts of bread just straight off like they rap shit. So it's like maybe it's more than 20. I'm probably embellishing a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I make more doing this shit than I would say like at least 50, if not more percent of like rappers that be looking rich or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So like I already make more money than a lot of them. So it almost feels like hustling backwards by trying to, go do that. You know what I'm saying? When there's other endeavors that are a lot less expensive, that are a lot easier to make, get a good ROI on. Once you get into like business like that, you start to see like, oh, it's kind of like the worst business to be in. It's terrible. There's only like so many people who will make like the substantial amount of money that you would be trying to get, and then the whole rest of the sea of people are either striving to get to that level or not even close, or they're in the negative. I would say like 90% of rappers are in the negative. So if you think of any endeavor like that, like nobody would go into that if that's how it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, anything. Let's say you sell fucking tomatoes. If 90% of people that sold fucking tomatoes didn't make money and were under, would people do that shit? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Every person that does sell tomatoes probably has a profit. Like almost almost all of them. If not, then it's, why the fuck are you selling tomatoes? So it's because it's not glamorous, but it does what it's supposed to do. So like a lot of rappers, it's glamorous and it sounds fun, like your projected outcome. But then you meet a lot of rappers, you see that they're broke, or maybe they're not broke. They're just not really living life the way that you would necessarily want to be living it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you're living for other people and entertaining other people, at times that you might not want to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of live shit you got to do, a lot of politicking, a lot of shit that you might not actually want to be doing. So like I like to do shit I feel like doing whenever the fuck I feel like doing it. So I feel like as a rapper, you don't really get to do that. You kind of got to give your life to that. With this shit, like I got to give my life to it. But like this is my life. This is what I do. Like since I first checked my first trap, it's like, okay, this is what I do. This is me now. You know what I'm saying? And not even like, oh, this is me now. Like it's not even like a persona like that. Like I don't put on no fucking facade. I don't put on no extra pimpiness or any type of bullshit like that. None. If anything, I try to be as natural as possible. I don't throw any extra saute, no extra, none of that extra shit. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll have fun with it and I'll say some shit that rhyme or something, but like I don't know. If anything, I feel like I'm the squarest sounding P out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I just be trying to. I talk to the bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's who I'm there to talk to. I'm not here to impress niggas and shit. I'm not over here trying to, prove to anybody how big of a motherfucking P I am. Fuck their opinion. I don't give a fuck, nigga. The hell?
Right.
Are you the one that I work with? No, you're not. So you don't even know the integrity of my work. The only thing that you can see is the results. Read them and weep. You know what I'm saying? That's all you get to see.
Right.
But with the bitch gets to see. They know my acumen. You know what I'm saying? So watch out. They know I'm dangerous.
For the people that don't know, can you please tell us the difference between a P and a Mac?
Okay, a P and a Mac. It's like a scale. They both use the same like skill, you would say, but like definitely to a different degree. So like your Mac would like, let's say got a bitch with like a lawyer job or some shit, or like some job at a law office, and he's just over here just talking her ear off, wonty wonty, not talking her ear off, really just talking her purse off. You know what I'm saying? Just I'm gonna need this for that. You know what I'm saying? You kind of, I I can't just be da da da. I'm gonna need that. You know, like you're just doing that. You can just get money from a bitch. You know, like that's macking. You know, and if you really want to break it down, macking is just really the art of like making a situation or scenario go the way that you want it to go. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be problematic or, you know, something in your favor, you know what I'm saying? Either getting out of a situation or getting into some situations. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would figure macking would be. And then pimping is just when you straight up sell like the profession got the bitch and you're selling her sexually. You're facilitating the sale of her sexual endeavors. You know what I'm saying? That would be the definition of a pimp. You know what I'm saying? In any language. You know what I'm saying? In fucking Chinese, that's what a fucking pimp would be. In Japan, that's what a pimp would be. Now there's the difference between that pimp and the American pimp. You know what I'm saying? The trademarked quote unquote American pimp. There's not really a difference. I would say there's more so a difference inside the American. They got mama sons. Uh, the traditional American pimp. If you're one of them, then you're gonna see it from a different lens. Like all those people ain't pimps. They're not a pimp. You know what I'm saying? There's a pimp. There's a certain way. There's a certain pep in your step. There's a certain chain of command damn near. You know what I'm saying? That's where you got to get involved with the congregation. You got to go worldwide and go link with other P's and shit like that. And it's all political and shit like that. You know, like that's like pimping. You know what I'm saying? That's you mashing. You got the bit. You got you got your jargon. Because in other countries, they don't fucking call them toes or nothing like that. But, the American pimp is going to be like, I'm over here with motherfucking 30 toes pushing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here mashing 30 toes on the concrete, 30 toes on the carpet, 30 toes on the pole, 30, you know what I'm saying? You out there, pushing them toes, So, that's different. It comes with a whole different jargon. It's like being I don't know what else you can say, like being a fucking basketball player in the US versus being a basketball player in Europe. Like, it's different. I mean, like, are you a NBA player? Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Are you a professional basketball player? A professional basketball player in other places is different from professional basketball player in America. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different culture and shit. So that's where like that I feel like there's sometimes a miscommunication or divide when it comes to pimping in that regard, where like I heard Adam and Kelpie kind of talking about like, oh yeah, there's pimps in like every country and and stuff like that, and there's crime done in every country by the people who are there, so technically like that means there's white pimps and stuff like that, whereas the American pimp, there's no like white pimps in like the American pimp like culture. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a niggas only kind of space. You might have like some Tongans or some fucking like random brown people that are they're still more nigga centric. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's more like that. It's like there's gangs in other countries and shit, but like a gang in America is different. Like gang banging, you got your Bloods, your Crips, your BDs, GDs, etc. Like it's more like it's different. So it's just different.
Okay. And just go right into the next question. So, how many 304s do you have a part of your stable?
So that it's a little flighty in these situations. It's a little different. It's a little different, and that's where I feel like it's really hard for P's to transition to doing this kind of shit, because you have to do it in like certain ways, because like there's a lot of agencies essentially. You know what I'm saying? There's managers and there's agencies. There's a whole different like type of it's a different field essentially. You know what I'm saying? It's using the same tag like how pimping uses macking. You have to use your macking while you're pimping and shit, right? So like in this shit, you got to use your macking in this shit. So it's like a different endeavor that you're also using the same skill. You know what I'm saying? So right now I got this bitch in like, what the fuck is that? Not Costa Rica, fucking Dominican Republic. I got her working, right? But then there's also girls that sign up under my referral I get 5% of their shit. I got other niggas that are working with girls, and then I promote they shit. So I'm getting like cuts out of they shit. There's a lot of different like little ways that you just like get money in it. But as far as the ones that are working for me, I got Kitty and I got the other one in fucking Dominican Republic. So I just got the dose. But I'm trying to scale. I'm still scaling up with Kitty because before I had a few other ones. I've had plenty of them throughout the OnlyFans time. Before the OnlyFans time, that I always had like fucking 30 toes. But over after OnlyFans shit, I tried bringing a lot of girls in, and I found out it's like different as far as like the criteria goes. So like criteria for like OnlyFans girls, like it's more of a business, right? So like with 304s and shit, you just like get in their face, tell them what to do. As long as you there doing that and they doing what you tell them to do, then it all goes smooth. You know, there's not a whole lot of I don't know, and then you could still do like an LRP with a 304 and just be like, you know, do won't you because your game's thick, telling her what to do what she's supposed to do. Now this stuff involves like a lot of tech savvy and shit like that. So it's like I can tell the girl to do wompty wompty, and then sometimes she won't know exactly how and shit. So a lot of times I gotta be like in their face in order for them to like really do it like that. But then I'm busy doing all this shit. So in order for me to be in their face, then I gotta dampen what I'm doing with all this shit because I gotta oversee this shit. Even if I get someone else to do the shit, I still have to oversee it that much more because of the attention that I can put on my main endeavor will count for more. So let's say an hour of me working on my main versus an hour of me working on some new girl or some shit. In pimping and shit like that, it's almost like the same. Or if anything, like, okay, I'm using this hour to work on this other girl, and eventually she's gonna be making like the same amount as this other girl. It takes really long to scale the girl up that far unless you do it a certain way, like my nigga Rodeo. So like it almost like what I say. Whereas in pimping, it like pays off to be popping your peas at as many bitches as possible and making and knocking them and shit like that. This it doesn't pay off as much. You have to be very selective. You know what I'm saying? You have to be really selective because a lot of bitches will fag off. They're not ready to like do a business. They just want to fuck around and fucking. They don't understand how much work it's gonna take or how much you're gonna need them to stay on top of what they're doing. Some girls honestly would rather just hoe, you know. They would rather when this is a bigger picture. So I'd be able to like knock them and they want to like hoe and be all under me and shit like that. And then it's like, no, I need you to just do the things that I need you to do, and that's that, you know. And they're like, oh, well, where's the rest? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, I don't need that much from you. I don't need you to. I don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? But they need all that, and I don't got time for all that. So if she's super serious about her business, then cool. And if she's finna be in my program well, then that works too. So I'm starting to scale out a little bit differently right now. So that's why I just started working with the other one, and then I'll see what's up. But I don't want to sign another one right now because it's gonna take like a minute to build this one up, and then it's a headache trying to start all this shit. Because when you knock a bitch, you can just like, okay, boom, you got the bitch, get her some heels, get her some shit, send her ass to the club. Now she's making money. You know what I'm saying? Now she's making however much money you want to be making. Send her out, put her on fucking wherever the fuck you want to put her. You know what I'm saying? She'll go make some money. This shit, it takes like a while to build up. So it's like I'll knock her. Okay, you got to do this. 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 I need these videos. I need you to film it this way, and then I'm gonna get traffic to your shit, and then we'll go from there. And then it takes like a little bit. So unless I'm in their face the entire time, they're not trying to like sit around for that, you know. And I'm not gonna sit in their face the whole time while they're not making no bread like that for a minute, you know. So basically, they want me to be in their face while they're not making that much bread, so I can like knock them like that, and then still go like you know, pimp them and shit if that's what the fuck it was. But I'm not doing that because I don't gotta do that. The risk versus reward isn't there because I could not do it and not risk anything, or I do it and I risk losing the shit I'm already fucking doing that I don't have to risk nothing and my freedom and everything. So I have everything to lose by doing that because I do it the way that I do it now. So if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want your bitch. I don't want anybody's bitch. I'm not out here trying to take people's bitches and shit like that. That's usually what a P's job is to do, is to try to get as much, like, because with every bitch that you get, that's a whole extra bag, you know. But I can get as much as 10 bitches with one.
Respect. So is being a 304 all based on looks, or is it on a work ethic?
I would say like 80% work ethic, 20% looks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I need that ethic. I need that. You know what? I'll give it 30-70, because you can be really good looking and not have no work ethic, but as long as you just like, as long as you can, like, I don't know. Now that's still work ethic, man. Yeah, it's that 80-20. Yeah, man. I need that ethic. You know, I don't even want to be around you if you don't got that work ethic. You know, like.
In what ways are you elevating your women?
In what ways? Man, I would say that I elevate their life in every single aspect possible. Anything that this is part of my thing. I need them to, in order for me to materialize their wants, I need to know their wants. Like, they have to want things. So it's like, what do you want? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to get after? And then I will guide them to being able to get that. It could be anything. Let's say, like, let's say the bitch was really like, I want a Lambo. Like, I just need a Lamborghini. You know, I just really want it. I'd be like, okay, So in order to get a Lamborghini, you would need to do this. We would need to do this. We do this, and then we do that. So as long as we can do that, you can get a Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that and I have not passed up on any promises or wants that there have been, really. If I haven't, it's for a specific reason, like very specific, and it's coming. And if it was that serious, it can happen like tomorrow. So like, I would say I get them started with businesses. They have fucking LLC, have their own shit, and then they can fucking buy whatever the fuck they want, man, and then send their family money and do whatever the fuck. I basically just put them on to live life on easy mode and do whatever the fuck they want. So, like, they get their titties done, ass done, lips done, whatever the fuck, whatever car, whatever, you know. It's
Whatever they feel like they need to get to the next level.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable at work, baby, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? I like this to be a comfortable work environment. So, you know, we always working. So you always gotta be comfortable. So that's what we trying to do. You know, and I'm not a greedy fuck like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like keep nothing for nobody or nothing like that. You know, I spend more money, I would say, on keeping girls comfortable and shit than myself, because I don't need a whole lot, and I have, like, I'm not gonna say everything I want, but like, I kind of got everything I want. I don't really want a lot more things. So I stopped wearing my jewelry and shit like that too, because that shit is just like, I don't know, like, I don't know. And plus, I live in LA now. That's just not. It's kind of played out here. Not one, because niggas be getting robbed, and two, you look goofy as hell wearing it because niggas are getting robbed.
Fact.
So it's like,
Fact.
someone's wearing it, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you know,
Right.
Come on. That's kind of how it looks out here. I never thought it would look like that anywhere, but it's kind of like, it's kind of played out to where, out here at least, you know what I'm saying? You look like you're not in the loop. You look like food.
Right.
Yeah.
And they definitely want to eat, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they looking, they lurking.
For sure. So after your appearance on the SharpTank, can you share what happened after the segment? And did you leave on good terms?
Yeah. So I can almost play it back. So as soon as it ended, I was like, you didn't say nothing. Like, you walked off. And I was like, you didn't say anything during this interview or the last one with Blue Jasmine. You just don't be saying shit. And then his manager was like, nah, he said some shit. If you listen to the Blue Jasmine one, he said some shit. And I was like, I just watched that shit right before I came here. He didn't say shit. And then I got up, and then he was went into the next room. I went up, and I was like, hey, all right, fuck all the cameras and shit. Who do you think that you're talking to? When do you think I got in the game? Like, I understand you're like arguing to a whole other nigga, because whoever you think that you're talking about while you're talking to me is not who the fuck I am, and not even in like that kind of way. I was just like, that's not. I don't even like. You're not seeing shit how the fuck it is. And he was like, pandemic, and then like looked at his manager like, and I was like, nigga, I've been in it way before the pandemic. That's when I started doing OnlyFans shit. I was like, hold up. I took off my Cartiers. I was like, maybe you're not seeing me eye to eye. So maybe you need to look me in my eyes so you know that I'm not capping about nothing, okay? And then he's like, do you know about the church? I'm like, yeah, what, church, priest, tabernacle, whatever. He's like, the church, the preach, and tabernacle. Started explaining some shit. And I'm like, yeah, nigga, that's duh, nigga. But that's cool and all. And then we was like, what else we talking about? Oh, he asked me like who other niggas I know. I was like, I know such and such, wumpty wumpty, blah blah blah. I'm not finna say none of that shit on camera. That's weird, nigga. Like, I'm not finna talk about other people that aren't here to talk about themselves on camera when we're talking about fucking federal ass shit. That's weird. Like, no, nigga. So then he's like, well, I just gotta, know where you coming from, or and you need to holler. Like, I'm really throwing you some game. You really need to holler at the church about that shit, because they might want something, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, cool. Say it in a much better way. Because because how you coming at me on there is not even fucking cool like that. Like, what do you mean? And then we were talking about the difference between doing shit the other way and doing shit my way. And I'm like, bruh, how can you even knock that? I'm over here doing this, like, it's completely legal. They're giving niggas football numbers for doing shit like this. And then I'm finding a whole other way, and I'm over here trying to show other niggas a bunch of shit on here, and you're over here cutting it off. That's not cool. That's not player. You're doing a bunch of dirty macking. That's just not cool. You're over here talking to he's like, I didn't want her. And then we started just like kind of talking shit, like roasting, like not roasting each other, but kind of that. He was just like saying some shit. That's when Trevor he got the camera, and that's like the other part. And he was like, you just over here happy you fucking the bitch or some shit. I don't fucking know. But yeah, and then we was just talking. I showed his manager. He was talking about like crypto and shit. I showed him like added like, I don't know. I showed him like 100 something bands pretty much. I was like, nigga, boom, like nigga, I'm not capping about shit. Look, boom, like money. Like, I do this shit. Why are you playing? And then they're like, oh, well, if you're doing that, then like leave the game alone. You know what I'm saying? Leave pimping alone type shit. And I'm like, it's like no shit, but like I'm just telling you where the fuck I'm coming from with that shit. And I'm telling you like how I made a transition. They're like, oh, well, why didn't you say that? I was like, because I kept getting cut off, nigga. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, like, I don't know, our bad. But then he was like, he's like, well, if anything, this is probably gonna go viral. This is probably gonna put you on. So, And he's like, you should, you should have came with a gift. You should have came with a bottle or something. You came over here empty-handed. And he was like, I was hitting you up before the interview to try to see, some topics, but then you wasn't answering. And I was like, I didn't see that shit. Cause I didn't see that shit. I didn't know about message requests at the time. So I was so in my own shit. I did not like all this like YouTube.
You sound just like that nigga, boy. That shit.
What?
Just like that.
Yeah. Cause I've talked to him a few more times since then too. We talked on the phone a few times, and I don't know. He's a fun nigga to recreate. Cause to me, I feel like sometimes he be acting like a caricature of himself. So it's kind of easy to imitate, like, you know.
And this go
You
right
need to get your weather together.
And let's go right directly into the next question. I said, do you feel like Sharp's attempts at dirty macking were successful? And was your girl influenced by anything he said?
No. The only thing that got through or anything was just the fact that there were so many negative comments and stuff afterwards, and having like fans come in and like fucking just say negative bullshit. You know, she's a girl, she's kind of sensitive and shit. She don't really like all that. But all the shit that he was saying there, you know, she was unfazed. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't really tripping about that. She just thought he was goofy as hell because he was saying a bunch of shit that he didn't know shit about. Because, I mean, she knows. She's been there. She knows that, like, I can't lie about anything while she's right there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's someone that's been there. I can't just, like, lie, you know? That doesn't make sense. That look goofy as fuck. It make me look stupid as hell. If I'm just over here lying on a fucking podcast talking to this nigga while she's right there, she'd be like, what do you mean? Like, you know, she could say that shit easy, but, you know, so the fact that he's over here saying this, that, and the third, you know, she knows I'm a bad man gym. She knows I do a lot of shit, you know, like most of the time in a situation like that where a nigga would be talking to me like that, it wouldn't really last that long. You know what I'm saying? Not saying like I just beat their ass or something. Usually I'd probably like walk away or something. I'd be like, nigga, you're drunk. I don't know. I'm out. You know? that's how that would go. I don't usually entertain shit like that, but I was trying to make it go viral and shit. So I wanted him to, I just wanted to not piss him off, but you know, I just wanted to get him riled up so he does all the things. And I wasn't even trying to, but you know, obviously with the stuff I was saying, I wasn't necessarily trying not to. You know what I'm saying? Imagine saying stunt dick shit to this nigga. You know he's finna flip his fucking. You know he's finna. He's like, oh, so what are you doing on camera? I'm like, oh, just stunt dick shit. I knew. I was like, I know he's coming. He's finna say stunt dick. What did you? He was about to malfunction. Like I was like, I know. I'm like, yeah.
And then the nigga wouldn't let you talk for nothing. I'm watching that shit. I'm like, bro, can you at least let my nigga talk, bro? You feel what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, bro, you'll be able to say what the fuck you need to say after you let him speak. But he's a guest there, so let my nigga say what he needs to say.
That's what I'm saying. I was a guest. So at some point, he's like, who's interviewing who? Da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you know what? He's right. You are interviewing me. So I'm waiting for the question, and then I will talk. You know what I'm saying? So, but I knew he wouldn't let me talk. So that's why I was just like, this is funny. While I was going on, I'm just like, this is fucking hilarious. I'm like, oh man. And the whole time I'm looking at other people on the side, and I'm like laughing with them. That's why I keep looking. I'm just like, nigga, da 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 da, you know, or I'll look at the camera. But you probably couldn't see. A lot of people know, like, I talk with my eyes a lot, and I'm very expressive in my eyes, but I have my shades on, so you couldn't really see a lot of that. So, not even like a mistake. I feel like that was good, you know. It left me a little bit more mysterious, you know. But yeah, so when I did take my glasses off, I feel like after we talked, he did have a better understanding, which is kind of weird. I was like, is it really the glasses? You don't see my eyes, you can't tell that I'm serious? Because a lot of people say that you could just, I don't know. If anything, I need to like relax my eye area because I just be like talking with my eyes. But yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: is Sharp's game still valid in 2022?
You know what? I'm gonna say yes. Because he quit pimping and he got a job. And I was like, no, he quit pimping. He quit pimping and he fucking he's podcasting. So I mean, as you pimping, you're usually a good orator. You know, you master the art of communication. So he took his Macking to another endeavor. You know, I took it to OnlyFans. He took it to podcasting and shit. You know what I'm saying? I might take it to podcasting and shit too. You know what I'm saying? But not even because of him, just because motherfuckers just keep on acting like that's what I'm supposed to be doing now. So I'm like, I fucking guess. You know, that's what the fuck. because I wasn't even trying to do that. I was just trying to I just wanted to do that and then just expand on my game. You know,
Hey, and on my mama, it need to be you and Kelpie. On my mama, nigga. Niggas would fuck with y'all for sure, for sure.
hey,
Y'all have
we got something
you
in the
niggas.
works, man. We got more in the works. We already did one thing together. We did another thing together. That's not out yet. But then we're gonna do another one together. So we got like two things about to come out, but then we got some more. We got some more things together. Cause we it worked. You know what I'm saying? He reached out to me a while ago, before the Almighty thing, before the second one. You know, and when I was like, yeah, you know, I'm out here. I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know, and that's literally when we did the last video we did. I got there and he was like, yeah, fucking. He said kind of what happened, but he didn't say it all the way because he was like, it's gonna come out. So just like I'm gonna save it for that. And I'm like, okay. He like kind of told me, but then as our thing ended, like as we quit filming, it dropped on my phone. Like it was like, oh, Lil Kelpie, fight breaks out at NoJumper or something. And I was like, nigga, what? Like, damn. Like as we ended it, so yeah. But that was the answer to that question. Yeah, is this game valid as far as like pimping, or the game that he's talking about, or the game that he boasts, you could say. I mean, there's always gonna be a place for it. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of it. You know, there's always gonna be a place for that. Is that what niggas need to be running around doing? No. No, they don't. It's especially you see what be going on with all these niggas. You know what's going on with your YSLs and your TSFs and such. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
All the people that be pushing P and such. You know, now they all possibly pushing prison. So you know you gotta watch out. You know, you don't gotta have your nose be dirty when it's there's clean air everywhere. You know.
So, with you spearheading this new age pimp era, what are some of the similarities or differences in what you're doing versus traditional pimping?
There's a lot less like coercion. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Mm.
really. It's more of like the part. Okay, a lot of P's disguise their coercion as education and elevation. When you elevating the bitch, you know, I'm elevating you. You're also like not exploiting, but you're trying to get her to do things that she wouldn't normally do. You know, you're trying to break down her morals, break down her limits, push her past those limits in order to get the outcomes that you are prescribing to the situation. Um in this field, you're educating and telling them what to do, but you're not telling them to do stuff that's like hella crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like hoeing is hella crazy, but if you think about it, it's a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's a little crazy. Usually the bitches that are in it got a little screw loose, or like, you know, something, you know, you're different, you know, just like most P's, we different. Shit happen certain ways, you know, and that's just the way it is, you know. So like, I feel like the education part is there's not as much coercion. I'm really just educating. I'm like, look, I just have to have the know-how to know how to do this. I need to show you how to do the things that I need you to know how to do. And it's not anything crazy. You're like, yeah, when you hoeing, like, you taking a bitch that you just be fucking and then having her go fuck like the right people to get money. Like, bitch, just turn the camera on and play with yourself. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that fucking serious. You know?
Right.
Just do that, you know, and get some clout. You like clout, don't you? Let's get some clout. You know, that's the other way. But I'm gonna find out ways to get you some clout. I'm gonna find ways to drive traffic to your page. I just need you to do those things, and I need you to keep doing those things. And we're gonna get way more money than anybody in your family. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it's a kind of a no brainer. It's not really fucking. I don't have to coerce. I just have to educate and act. So I feel like that's probably the biggest difference. Um, you know, and also like some agencies, like you can scale a lot farther because it's legal. So like you could have like 30, 60 bitches. You know what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
might not give them the best attention, which is why a lot of girls are anti-agency. Um, so you have to do it right, but you can scale up to that. I mean, you could be a P and scale up to 30 bitches, but good lord, that is a juggling act. You know what I'm saying? Like you are a you deserve all the
Sure,
money in the world, my nigga. You deserve it all if you doing that shit. You know?
sure. But do you think it's disrespectful to the game calling what you doing pimping instead of marketing?
Yeah, yeah. I don't call it pimping. I say I was a pimp that transitioned to doing this. You know what I'm saying? And like I say with like the American pimp shit, like if you're a pimp, like that's just like you just got the ism. You know what I'm saying? Like you, so you don't really like if you're him, you're him. You know what I'm saying? Like if you a P, you a P. Like I could be fucking selling cars and shit. I'm a P selling cars. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Right.
but to call what I'm doing pimp, like if I'm an NBA player and I'm fucking I don't know doing it, I'm shopping for groceries. Like I'm an NBA player shopping for groceries. I'm still an NBA player. You know what I'm saying? You can say
Mm.
ex NBA player, nigga's still a fucking like let's say Shaq, like you'd still call him an NBA player. He don't play in the NBA no more, but the nigga's an NBA player. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing. So like you can call him an ex NBA player, I guess. But you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, like I'm a player who's doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't even like how they called it on NoJumper. They said OnlyFans pimp. I told them to change that shit. I was like, don't say OnlyFans pimp. That's fucking weird. Like the fuck? Like not an OnlyFans pimp. Like I'm a pimp nigga who started doing OnlyFans shit. Now it's not even my OnlyFans. I just work the bitches OnlyFans. So like I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not what that is. I'm not selling the bit, but you can call it like in a way a man that is involved in sex work in some sort of way, who manages sex work is kind of like one of those things like I was talking about by definition a pimp. You know what I'm saying? So by that definition, you could say it's kind of like imagine you was in politics and then like you had an opponent who wanted to talk about stuff that you did or something like that. They would call you like let's say I went into politics and I wasn't pimping no more and shit like that. They would call me a pimp. They'd be like, he's a pimp and a better and a you know what I'm saying? And the
Right.
people that listen to them would rock with it. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, he is because he did this. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like where do you draw the line at where you start and stop calling people pimps or start and stop calling what people are doing pimping? And I feel like that is a good philosophical discussion itself. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to define. A lot of people might have different perspectives on that. I've talked to a lot of people with different perspectives on that. I've had a lot of people that try to tell me, yes, doing OnlyFans is pimping. You know what I'm saying? I've had other people say, hell the motherfuck no. So it's very drastic how different people's perspective. And I feel like in a crossroad with it to where I'm like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? But I happen to be doing that before I'm doing this. So like I'm like in like a weird gray area with it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, um I'm I'm him. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I hope they feel like they them too.
Real talk. So, Church, man, you know, what did you spend your first million on, big dog?
Man, where the fuck did it go? No, I'm just playing. Nah, shit. Spent it on curating my life to be what I want it to be. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that more comes after it. Securing the next M, I feel like is what I spent it on. Um I bought like furniture and car, different spots a couple times. I moved like twice. Um, what else? Trips, uh, plastic surgery, uh, fucking giving family money, um, jewelry, this fly ass PC setup I got right here. I got the dual screens. I really got 3 screens, but I need to put the other one up. But then um shit, I don't know. What the fuck else? I mean I got some, I still have money. I feel like there's more. There's a bit in plastic surgery and a bit of jewelry. I'll tell you what. I got pieces. I mean, I got the church right here. This guy was cool. And I got the big church right here. This guy's cool.
Hook of fire.
Yeah, and then I got this bracelet right here. That's cool. It's all kinky right now. But yeah, I got that shit was a big. Kitty's chain's harder than mine. She don't even wear the shit like that, but her shit's harder than mine. So like, I don't know, and just anything I want. Been eating a lot. I eat a lot of food. Oh, I smoked. I smoke a lot of weed. That's where like I would feel like a lot of money of it goes. Kind of. Um, yeah, like I probably spend like 500 a week or something like that.
Sheesh.
I don't know if that's crazy. It's not too crazy, but it adds up after a while. If you just 500 a week, yeah, it's like 2,000 a month. That's stupid. That's retarded. I should probably stop.
Or open your own cannabis club. See.
Yeah, some. I mean, I've always smoked hella weed for hella long since I was like 15. So like, that's giving me shit on the NoJumper and be like, why is he hitting the blunt like that? It's like my blunt broke. It broke during the middle of the shit, fell on the ground. I smoke a lot of weed. Don't try to make me look like no rookie. The fuck? Not even like I care about that. Y'all just talking shit. But it's cool. I like how I learned a lot from that. Like how like people's perceptions of shit. Like what affects them a lot when they don't know about certain shit. So that was very interesting to learn. You know.
What has been the most profitable month for you so far?
Um. So like, there's this month where I made like 50K, but then I made like 30K in the stock market. So I feel like that one it was like 80K in a month, but like just straight off OnlyFans shit and shit like that, probably like 65 or something like that. Um, in a month, but yeah, that was the highest month.
Okay. What advice would you give to someone who's coming up with the OF agency?
Shit, buy some coaching, buy some coaching because like I was saying the shit before, when somebody has already done all the legwork and shit like that, you can kind of just start off where they ended up, and now things are moving faster than they've ever moved. So there's more new tactics being like constructed. I feel like every like few weeks or so, so like it's gonna take a bit of like catching up and shit like that. But the tactics that they're learning right now, when I first got into doing OnlyFans shit, I like they didn't even exist. No one would have ever even thought of these things. So like now that there's all these things, now it's like I'd have to like clue you up on like why we're doing the things that we're doing and why we're not doing the things that we're not doing. Because they might be like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this. Why don't I do this? I'm like, we used to do that. We don't do that no more. So coaching would really set you in the right path, get you up to speed, so you're not just like winging it, doing some shit. Like You know, just know what you're doing. So, uh, I mean, get a bitch. Know how to talk to girls. You know, if you don't know how to talk to girls, like it's the wrong field for you.
Okay, and Church, let the people know where they can find you at, big dog.
Oh yeah, Instagram at BIG_CHUUCH. Big Church with some flavor in it. You know what I'm saying? You can find me on YouTube. Just look up Big Chuuch. Type me in. Type in Big Chuuch anywhere. I pretty much claimed it. It's put on the wall, all there. You can find me on anything, man. And you can holler at me even on fucking Telegram. You know what I'm saying? The same as my fucking Instagram. Cause on there I be selling the coaching courses on there. You know what I'm saying? Or just holler at me on Instagram. That's really where it is. You know what I'm saying? Holler at me for anything, man. Holla at me for anything. I have way too many motherfucking endeavors going on right now. You know what I'm saying? YouTube shit, music shit, fucking OnlyFans coaching, OnlyFans managing, motherfucking probably left something off the list. I don't know. I got some merch. You know what I'm saying? What's popping? Digital Pivot Enterprises. It's my company. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I made an LLC. It's Digital Pivot Enterprises since then and shit too. So, you know, yeah, it's a whole corporation and it's profitable. So it's interesting. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I'm done. I wanted to tell you, Church, though, I appreciate you giving me this opportunity, big dog, and I really mean this. I don't know what I could do to pay you back because this interview is priceless, bro. If, like I say, if you come up here, I can shoot with you, follow you around, see what your lifestyle is about. I'm solid, bro, and I appreciate you giving me this opportunity, like real talk, bro. I appreciate this. You don't even know how much I appreciate
I appreciate the appreciation and I appreciate you taking the time out too. Cause you know what I'm saying? Your time is just valuable, you know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? I'm just a nigga that
it. Man,
makes
you that
decisions.
nigga. You that nigga.
Ah,
You that nigga,
ah,
man.
thanks,
And
thanks.
look, and they was hating on you, just like I told Kilby, bro. Them niggas is haters.